It's one of the most isolated, secretive, and feared countries in the world. Decades of hostility with the United States almost came to an end when Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program in return for the lifting of sanctions, until
the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. I will sign a presidential memorandum to begin reinstating U.S. nuclear sanctions.
Sanctions are war. The United States started a war against Iran.
Sanctions mainly target the oil and the banking system. But they have affected the whole economy.
خب اتفاقی که میفته اینه که مواد اولیه گرون شده، هزینه‌های ما، هزینه کارگرامون هم افزایش پیدا کرده، هزینه خدماتی که میگیریم بابت کارمون هم افزایش پیدا کرده.
The architects of the revolution believe that resistance and resilience have forged the Iranian nation.
We struggle back. There is no other way.
But people's frustration is growing, and it's not only directed at the United States.
اگه مسئولین یه ذره نگاهی به مردم داشته باشن، تحریم نمیتونه کاری برای مردم ایران بکنه.
We gained rare access to a country where reporting is restricted. Welcome to Iran, where sanctions have become a way of life. Friday prayer at Tehran's largest mosque. Men and women also come here to listen to the Imam's political speech. He addresses the latest events.
ترامپ از یک طرف دنبال مذاکره با ایران است و از طرف دیگر وزیر خارجه ایران را تحریم می‌کند.
But the core message has remained the same since the birth of the Islamic Republic.
ایران توانست در برابر زیادخواهی‌های استکبار به سرکردگی آمریکا بایستد. به پیروزی‌هایی دست یافت. یکی از آن پیروزی‌ها حفظ انقلاب بود. هیمنه آمریکا در دنیا فرو ریخت.
Many here disagreed with the terms of the nuclear agreement signed in 2015. But when Donald Trump pulled out of it, they refused to bow down.
It took more than 12 years that we come up with this agreement, and in one day, Mr. Trump, or I should say in 1 second, Mr. Trump said no to it. We are not going to give our dignity to somebody who is exercising force on us. We will be strong inside, as we have been.
Strong and resilient.
The sanction is more than 40 years. From the day of the success of this revolution, we have been learning to live with these sanctions.
But resistance comes at a price. And for most Iranians, the return of sanctions means inflation. And it's nowhere more noticeable than here, in one of the capital's busiest bazaars.
با پارسال 50% رفته بالا، ولی مثلا لبنیات گرونتر از این سیفیزاته. لبنیات 100% گرون شده، ولی سیفیزات نه.
50%.
50%. شاید این پایین‌تر. اول سر برد خوبه تا 15 بعد اون خلوته ته پولا میرسه دیگه تموم میشه. برگ دلمه نرم و لطیفه است.
Nasser started selling fruits and vegetables when he was barely 10 years old. He's always been happy, he says. But in the past few months, life has become harder.
من الان مستاجرم، خودم اجاره نشینم. 50 تومن پول پیش دادم. با حقوق کمتر ماه 1,500 باید اجاره بدم. نصف حقوقم میره. بعد شاید ته برجم مثلا آخر برجم کم بیارم. شاید از یه نفرم دستی یا قرض بگیرم. کلا بخوای حساب کنی من خودم از کلا ناراضیم.
Rent, food, everything has become more expensive in the past year, including medicines. And price is not the only issue here.
شاید داروی خارجی باشه که دیگه مثلا وارد نشه. ولی خب نظارتی که کردن هر جوری شده نوع ایرانیش رو میرسونن که مردم بدون دارو نمونن.
Today, Iran produces most of its medicine, but still needs to import the most advanced and often life-saving ones. Buying them from overseas is at best expensive and at worst impossible.
Although they say that sanction is not focused to the medical equipment and drug, but when transaction is impossible and we cannot pay the money that we have to buy our instruments and to buy our medication, so it affects our activity.
American sanctions target any firm or country dealing with Iran. A very effective indirect punishment.
I was visiting Italy and I have a visit with a lady who is chairwoman of the medical division of Senate. And she wants to help me to solve the problem. She called to many managers of many banks in Italy that why they do not accept transact between Iran and medical and pharmacologic factory. They say that we want to be in safe side. When we have a deal with Iran, even for pharmacy, the CIA, they said CIA, and the USA look on us with more suspiciousness.
Haider has been in charge of this maternity hospital pharmacy for more than a decade. A stressful job nowadays.
این داروهای مال خیلی سخت به دست میاد برای داروهای هپاتیتی ایناست.
And so are many others.
این شیاف ساکروجسته که برای خانم هایی که دوران بارداری دچار مشکل هستن و بچه رو رحمشون نمیتونه نگه داره، حتما باید استفاده کنن که بچه موندگاریش بیشتر باشه. بعد از ساعت کاری من به عنوان یک داروساز باید برم بیمارستان‌های دیگه که داروهای ما رو کم مصرف میکنن یا موجودیشون بیشتره، از اونها یا به حالت قرضی یا به صورت خریداری از اونها بخرم، اونایی که کمبود دارم امروز فردا بیارم اینجا جایزگزین کنم.
It doesn't only affect his patients' lives, but his own too.
24 ساعته گوشی موبایلم همیشه بازه. یه دفعه تو بیمارستان مثلا کاری پیش میاد، کمبود دارویی، غروب، شب، نصف شب، مجبوریم همیشه در حالت آماده باشیم. این یک سرباز جنگی.
While Iranians try to cope, their government remains defiant.
دولت و ملت ایران 1.5 سال زیر شدیدترین تحریم‌ها استقامت کرده است و هرگز با دشمنی که می‌خواهد با سلاح فقر و فشار و تحریم ایران را به تسلیم وادار کند مذاکره نخواهد کرد.
Meanwhile, the American president keeps the pressure up.
As long as Iran's menacing behavior continues, sanctions will not be lifted. They will be tightened.
Trump's maximum pressure policy is not only aimed at preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
The Iranian regime is the leading state sponsor of terror. It exports dangerous missiles, fuels conflicts across the Middle East.
Fears of military conflict keep growing. But despite the shooting down of a U.S. military drone, tanker incidents in the Strait of Hormuz, and attacks on Saudi Arabia's oil refineries blamed on Iran, so far, the no talk, no war policy has prevailed. But for how long?
I believe President Trump does not want to go to war. He does not want to escalate tension, but he has an impression that through pressure he can achieve his goals. We don't want war. We never started a war, but we won't escape a war. If there is a war imposed on us, the only way to deal with it is to fight it.
Common mistrust started here, at the former American embassy in Tehran. November 1979. A few months after the Islamic Revolution that ousted the Shah, a group of students stormed the building and held dozens of American hostages.
This is me. When we started, the hostages were angry and trying to fight back because they would think they will be released in 1 or 2 days, 1 week. We were tense at the beginning too. We don't know what would happen.
The students had only one demand.
We want the Shah back to go to a court. American made a big mistake. They shouldn't allow the Shah in. There wasn't any use. They should have handed the Shah to Iranian and insisting that should be a fair trial. It was very simple.
But it wasn't that simple. Widely seen as an American puppet, the Shah managed to escape and never returned.
This is one of the most important things that we did.
The students found secret documents proving that the United States was spying on Iran, Hossein says.
We wanted to defend our revolution.
The hostages were freed 444 days later. But the crisis left a permanent scar on the relationship between the two countries. Ali has believed in the Islamic Revolution from the start, and so does his family.
من 8 بچه دارم الان تهران، همشون دکتر مهندسن الا 2 تاشون. اینها تمامشون متدین و خدایی و دوستدار انقلاب و زحمت کشیدن و این حرفا هستن. کشور اسلامیه و اسلامی عمل بشه و مردم ما هم طرفدار اسلامن، خودشون رو فدای اسلام و قرآن میکنن.
When he settled down on the family farm after trading carpets for decades, he decided to grow pistachio nuts, a challenge in this arid climate.
این درخت‌ها هیچ کدوم نبود. با دست توانای خودم روبرا کردم و مدت 15 یا 16 سال اینجا انجام وظیفه میکنم. توش شده پولی هم شده میخرم که درخت‌ها بین نره.
At 80 years old, Ali has lived most of his life under sanctions.
رو جنسامون تأثیری نداره. جنسامون روز به روز تولیدش زیادتر میشه. اونا هر چی گذاشتن در منگن ملت ما را، ملت ما کوشا و سایی‌تر شدن.
Tears of pride and sorrow, of resilient people whose ancestors built one of the world's earliest civilizations. Kashan, one of Iran's most famous historical cities. Home to Persian gardens and traditional houses. And also to this archaeological site.
Sial has very long sequence of human occupation from early Neolithic, early village life to the very developed cities and even to early empires.
It was discovered in the 1930s, but more excavations are needed to unveil its full history.
There are some limitations, but we hope after this calming down of this situation, we could make a big project with people which we need them. Doesn't matter they come from which place of the world. This Sanctions also had some impact on the tourism of the site because people now have more problem to get visa to come here to visit.
Back in the capital, Tehran, people come to this shrine to pay their respects to important Iranian figures, including one of the nuclear scientists killed almost a decade ago. Shorei's husband, part of the nuclear team, was also shot dead.
یه روز خیلی گرم و خیلی آفتابی هم بود. دم منزلمون 2 نفر منتظر ما بودن. نفر اول اومد به سمت در ماشین و قبل از اینکه داریوش بتونه ریاکشنی نشون بده از خودش شروع کرد به شلیک. داریوش خودشو خم کرد سمت فرمون ماشین و بعد تیرای بعدی که شلیک شد افتاد سمت من که 6 تا گلوله به سمت داریوش شلیک شده بود، به مغزش، قلبش، گردنش. بعد از این که به سمت داریوش تیر شلیک شد من سریع از ماشین اومدم بیرون. حالا شاید فکر میکردم میتونم، یعنی یه ریاکشن احساساتی بود، میتونم اون افراد رو بگیرم که به سمت خودم هم تیر شلیک شد. دستاش رو که گرفتم دیدم خیلی سرد شده. بازم نمیخواستم باور کنم. دیگه رفتیم بیمارستان. شاید 10 دقیقه بعدش اول بردن اتاق CPR و اینها. 10 دقیقه بعدش به ما اطلاع دادن که ایشون شهید شدن.
Iran says its nuclear program was purely civilian, but the rest of the world wasn't convinced, especially the United States and Israel, which is widely believed to be behind the assassination. Shorey was scared for her husband's life.
همیشه هم اقدام احتیاطی رو انجام میدادیم. شاید من هم بهش گفته بودم و دوست داشتم شاید شغل رو عوض کنه به دلیل ترسی که داشتم، ولی خب حوزه علاقش بود. خودش خیلی دوست داشت کارش رو.
When the nuclear agreement was signed 4 years later, Shorey welcomed it.
شاید تمام خواسته های ایران رو در بر نداشت، ولی تا حدی تحریم ها رو تعدیل کرده بود، شرایط زندگی رو برای مردم عادی راحت تر کرده بود.
Mehdi came back to Tehran just after the deal was signed, full of hope, and founded one of the most successful phone delivery apps.
In that first year of us launching the product and growing the business, it was very optimistic, the mood overall in Tehran, because people were starting to really believe that, this could be the start of a very good economic upswing for the country.
But it soon proved to be as challenging as it was promising.
Our challenge came when just a year after we launched, not even, maybe a couple of months after we launched the application, and this was before the snapback of the sanctions, our application on the App Store, iOS App Store, Apple App Store, was deleted overnight without any warning from our Apple friends. So that was an enormous hit. So it took us months to readapt the platform.
But Mehdi still believes in the country he returned to.
So the story of Iran is really a story of an unused capacity. It's like a Olympic athlete that has been forced to run in the countryside competition, whether it's because he didn't know he can go to the Olympics or because they don't let this individual go to the Olympics. It's a mix of both.
But for Mohammed, the race is over.
ترامپ اعلام کرد که ما تحریم میکنیم و این کارو میکنیم، برجامو پاره میکنیم اینا. این صحبتو که شد همه چی به هم ریخت. یه ولوله‌ای شد، مثلا به اندازه 2 سال فروش، مردم تو 6 ماه هر چی داشتن فروختن. ماشین خریدن، دلار خریدن، مردم میگفتن فقط ریال دستمون نباشه.
With the collapse of the rial, buying raw material from overseas became too expensive. And so did the bed sets he was producing.
یه خورده مشکل شد واسمون، از پس هزینه‌ها بر نیومدیم، مجبور شدیم کم کنیم، دونه دونه کارگرا رو کم کنیم.
Until he had to make a heartbreaking decision.
من خودم وای میسادم پایین، دست من دستگاه گرفته، چون دوست داشتم این کارو انجام دادم. واقعا هم ناراحتم دارم جمعش میکنم. من این کار رو البته پیشینه منه، من پدرم هم این کاره بوده. این کار رو، کار سرویس خواب و عین بچم از روز اول بزرگش کردم، رسوندمش به اینجا. روزی که داشتم جمعش میکردم انگار تیکه‌ای از من داشت کنده میشد.
And it's for his actual child that he sometimes considers leaving the country.
نمیخوام اگر من هزینه میکنم واسه تحصیل بچه‌م، واسه آیندهش دارم تلاش میکنم، تو یه جایی باشه که آینده‌ای نداشته باشه. همیشه در روی پاشه نمیچرخه.
More than 3/4 of the Iranian population were born after the revolution, and many want change. After years of darkness, women have succeeded in bringing color back to the streets. Highly educated youths still blame the old enemy.
دقیقاً این چیزی که آمریکا میخواد به من تلقین کنه. که تو کشورت ول کن، برو. کشورت خالی بشه، هیچکی نباشه. تو کشورت به درد نمیخوره که. اونم که دارو دست مریض بده.
But Sohail's harshest words are for his government.
ولی مشکل اصلی از مسئول مملکت منه که نمیتونن یعنی قدرتی داشته باشن که امثالی مثل کشور دیگه ولی کشور من تصمیم نگیرن. اگه اونا زمینه رو ایجاد کرده بودن که با یه تحریم کوچیک انقدر اقتصاد مملکت نباید برم می‌ریخت. منم شاید تو 4 سال 5 سال شاید این باشه، آره چاره‌ای نداشته باشم. همسال من جوون مملکت نسازه، مملکت به چه امیدی باید بگذره؟
Suhail is not willing to sacrifice his life for his country, like Shorei's husband did, and like her daughter may do.
I really love my country. I think that our country is something that, bring us close together.
دخترم رو تا به حال جوری بزرگ کردم که خودش هم آرزو داره در خدمت کشورش باشه و شهید بشه.
But those who built Iran may not be willing to fight for its current leaders anymore.
مسئولین ما اونطوری که شاید و باید به درد این ملت کم میخورن ولی بازم خوب میخورن. اونی که در استطاعتشون هست انجام وظیفه میکنن، ولی بازم کم میکنن، چون قدرت و عزت و شوکت این ملت و این مملکت و این رهبر و همین مردم به وجود آوردن. نظر به این که این مردم به وجودن، باید این مردم خوب نگهداری کنن، باید بهشون برسن، چه کشاورز، چه کارگر، چه کارخونه دار، چه صنعت، چه غیر صنعت، همه رو باید مسئولین مملکتی در نظر داشته باشن و رسیدگی کنن. اگر نکنن ضررش خودشون میکنن.
Ali's words echo the sentiments of many Iranians, whose resilience is once again being tested.